and what's up? And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros Show presented by Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, today, we had the fun opportunity of speaking to Ambra Liew once again as we welcomed her back for our new segment of the KopiBros series, which is called the Ask Me Anything series, where we take in questions from our viewers, from our listeners, invite some of our guests back to do a Q&A session. Without further ado, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast is brought to you by our amazing friends at Mandai Smoke Co, Singapore's go-to delivery-only smokehouse for Texas-style BBQ delivered straight to your door. They specialize in low and slow smoked meats like 12-hour smoked boneless beef short plate, juicy pork belly, and tender pulled pork, all with that bold, primal flavor from wood-fired pits. No shortcut. Sick of steamboat because you eat that all year round anyway? This is your sign to add Texas flair. Trade standard pork for smoked pork belly and roll into the new year with some boneless beef short plate right now with Mandai Smoke Co. They are open for islandwide delivery every Saturday and Sunday from 10:30 to 8:30 p.m. For CNY, they will be specially open for CNY Eve dinner, 初一 and 初二. Free delivery for orders above $150. Head to mandaismokeco.com now to check the menu and lock in your order. Once again, big thanks to Mandai Smoke Co for sponsoring this episode. Voila! And now, back to the episode. And welcome to another episode of the KopiBros Show presented by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now today, we are launching our newest KopiBros episode format where we are going to be bringing back past KopiBros guests where you guys get to write in and ask questions in our new Ask Me Anything series. And for our first episode of the series, I think we are very happy to bring back Relationship and Breakup coach, which is a good friend of the show and actually our very first KopiBros guest, Ambra Liew-san. Hello!
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was the first one.
You are the first. As in, you're the first external guest we brought on.
Oh my gosh.
I think when our producer was looking for external guests, you were the first one he thought of that has an interesting job, interesting angle that we could interview.
That's very true actually. I still think that if you do research online, there's not many breakup coaches, and I don't know back when we first got interviewed whether I had already been featured on the Straight Time.
Yes,
but
you're featured.
Okay. Yeah. Because if not, right, then now when you type my name, when you type breakup, if you type breakup coach Singapore, like I'm one of the first few that pops up because of the feature.
Yeah. Is it because you did something to the Google engine?
No, it's because Straight Times has a high SEO, man. It's not me.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yes.
I work with people on three angles, right? Like sometimes they're in a unhealthy, toxic relationship and they want to be able to leave, or they like go through a hard divorce or breakup and they need help, or they're in a relationship and they want to become better versions of themselves, they come to me, or they want to work on themselves before dating again, they come to me. So like there are many different like phases that people can come in to get my support.
That is why, right, we decided to do this series to give our listeners some context, right? We actually put out a call for questions, and today we'll be answering the questions that everybody sent in. There were a lot of questions, so I think to give everybody some manage their expectations, we'll answer what we can. No time, or like this time round, like maybe not my expertise, or I feel that this question maybe we should leave until the next time. I think we can do maybe a second Q&A, or I don't know, a different format or somehow.
Let's bring those questions in.
The questions will be anonymous. So given the subject matter, some of them might be a bit sensitive. So we wanted to make sure everyone feels comfortable. Before we dive into the question, right, I'm actually curious about something. What have you been up to?
I think honestly, like since the last time we met, my life is quite like similar. You know, like I coach. I go to the gym. I solo travel.
Oh,
I
okay.
recently went through a breakup myself. It was a challenging sort of period because like the plan was, you know, that I go and meet his whole family in like Australia and we have Christmas together. 3 weeks before Christmas, like we decided to break up. Yeah, I think the cool thing was that I actually managed, because if you look at some of my things that I talk about in my coaching, I actually tell people that like, honestly, if you work together with me, like within like less than 2 months, you'll be like, your heart will be healed. You'll be able to feel at peace with yourself. You'll be able to be happy and you'll be able to focus. And everybody looks at me and is like, huh? No, they always say that it takes like so many months. But I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like if you really do the right things, like you can get it. And so I think like maybe that's the newest cool thing is that like, you guys, I know I blah on, okay? Those things I
went
teach
through
my
it
clients, I use
myself.
on myself. Yeah, and then it works. So that's the proven with like hundreds of like women and also some men that I help. And now again, myself, I think I can say I'm really proud of that. You know, when I went through it accounting, I was like, oh my God, only 36 days. And I'm like, this already. Like, I was like, oh my God, I was so scared. I was like, am I going to start the new year sad and crying all the time? I was like, that's not my vibe, yo. That's the tea. That's what's been happening.
As a relationship coach, right? I mean, like for us, if let's say we have relationship issues, we can go to a relationship coach like yourself or a breakup coach like yourself. But for you, who do you go to for like, you know, when you need to heart talk or like because you're a relationship coach, but you need someone to like tide you through this time?
Okay, I'm going to call them emotional support pillars. I would say for like, this is what I also advocate, right? Is that I actually worked again with my life coach. That was my life coach for many, many years, almost like 3+ years. She was like, my life coach, my supervisor, you know, because when I started like doing coaching, I wanted to make sure that I'm always giving like the highest quality coaching. So she was my supervisor. So I worked with her again, support of my friends and then family. And then the last emotional support system was myself, right? Which is actually the most important one because at the end of the day, you know, your friends have only so much time, parents and everybody has their own life, you know? So you got to learn, which is, I don't think we're talking about this today, but you got to really learn how to like sit with your emotions and regulate and just pull yourself through and feel all those like uncomfortable emotions. So yeah, those 4 pillars, like without them, I would not be here, be able to be like, let's talk about breakups. Let's talk about relationships. Have a better relationship with ourselves. Period. Full stop. No need to say
No
anything
need to
else.
explain more. So I think without further ado, we can get into the questions itself or contact Ambra Liew at
Contact Ambra Liew at Ambra Liew. I love it. It's like easiest branding ever.
I think the very first question is that this person said that I'm in a long distance relationship. So how can I prevent it from taking an emotional toll on me?
Person, if you're listening to this, I want to let you know first off that it's so normal like when you are in a long distance relationship to find it challenging. I don't think in this day and age anybody will ever tell you like it's a walk in the park, you know? So I just want to say first off like it's normal. I think it's really important to understand like why is it taking an emotional toll on you first off? Because if you don't understand why, right, then it's very hard to kind of not solve, because I don't like to use the word solve the problem, but like address what's going. Yeah, exactly. But let's say if I had to make some intelligent guesses here, because you know this person, so you have to imagine,
I
right?
also don't know who this person is.
It's anonymous person. The most important thing first, right, is that fundamentally, like, to survive long distance relationship, y'all have to have the same shared end goal. Like if you don't have a same thing, right, that is like we are going through this terrible hardship for what? I feel that the interesting thing about long distance relationships is that sometimes it can force or challenge a relationship to start getting more serious. You know, that anticipated if y'all are just like, you know, going through the motions, just living, you know, in one city together. You might not have to think about, but now, because I actually went through this, right? Like this long distance. Yeah. And then it really challenged like the relationship. So first off, make sure that you have a shared like direction. If you don't have that, right, don't even bother to go down to the next thing. Next thing that is really important thing like during this period to make sure that y'all like it doesn't take like an unhealthy emotional toll is to really make sure that you're communicating well. Yeah, long distance relationship, right? Again, you will test your communication skills. Like if you are not able to like communicate with this person, your communication styles clashes, like you guys have to talk about it or work individually like with a therapist, with a coach. And the final thing in a long distance relationship is that you have to be secure within yourself and you have to be secure within the relationship and your partner. Because if you don't, right, then anything will trigger you, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, because now there's like, you're not physically in the same, somehow, like being physically in the same country, psychologically, sometimes it can help. But like, if you don't trust that this person wants to be with you, you're going to struggle a lot. I would say that. So shared direction, healthy communication, and learning how to trust, be secure within yourself and be secure in the relationship. If you can't do this, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be a guru.
Consider it.
my guru instincts is telling me that it will really be a challenge for y'all to be able to successfully move through. Like y'all might, but it might be, like you said, so emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
Then you have to decide for yourself, like, okay, is this actually
Both my
healthy
effort,
for
both my time. Yeah.
both my effort, both my time healthy for me?
One thing you said interestingly that resonated with me is that it goes back to the self, right? You as a person, you need to know what you want. You need to be secure enough with yourself, and you need to know that you can trust the other person before you can say that, okay, I'm willing to talk about like, or the next, how do you say, like he or she is going away for, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. I'm willing to take that leap of faith together with him or her. Then you sometimes forget that actually the first step you should take is actually with yourself, right? You should make sure that you are okay with it first. Then you think about other things.
Yeah, sometimes they end up just going through the motions, but like you said, right? Is it actually what I want? The positive conclusion is that if you have shared direction, you work towards healthy communication, you both get help, and y'all work both individually on being secure within yourselves, the relationship can work.
Okay, so the second question. Okay, I was in a toxic and depressing relationship, but yet I often missed it so much. Why do I feel this way and how can I overcome it?
Just because we were in maybe a toxic or unhealthy relationship, I think this person is not right for us, right? It doesn't mean that, we are still humans. We can still like love and miss people, right? But I think like you said, you're like, okay, but I miss this person so much. And I'm assuming that maybe it's to the point where it's been some time or it's affecting you. I'm like, okay, you want to overcome it. What happens, right, when we think about our exes or we think about the relationship, the brain, right, even though it got so many bad things that happen, right, it will always think about the like happier memories. Like really, it's just how the brain is worked. And you know why? Because the brain is like designed to be constantly seeking for dopamine. Your brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid discomfort. So if you're in a toxic relationship, why will it constantly think about the bad things? And so then if you want to stop missing this person, you have to think about, okay, when I think about these good memories, what is all the emotions that I miss, that I'm actually missing from these memories? Then you have to connect to yourself. Oh, I'm actually missing that feeling of, someone loving me. Okay. Then you ask yourself, okay, when somebody loves you, how did that make you feel? Then you will be like, okay, make me feel loved. Okay, so the emotion that you're actually missing is not really this person or the relationship. You're actually missing the emotion of love. When you're able to identify what the emotion it is that you miss, and then the next part is learning how to give it to yourself and come back home to yourself and give yourself that love. Over time, you'll realize that the more you practice this daily devotion towards coming home to yourself, meeting your own emotional needs, that this unhealthy attachment that you have with this person will just naturally suddenly dissolve. You won't desire this person before. I know, because I do this all the time with my clients. I just did it. I told you at the start of the podcast, like everything that literally, like I just came out of a relationship that wasn't an aligned relationship. Like at some point it got unhealthy. And I went through the same process of like, gosh, I miss him there. You know what I mean? Like very normal, right? So really, like if you really do these things, it will help. And if you don't know how to do these things,
seek external help. Sorry. Contact Ambra Liew and
Ambra Liew.
I was just about to ask you, right? Because I do feel that sometimes as people within the relationship, it's so difficult to see, to see without emotions. Like everything you see is always with like, memories, emotions. I did this together with this person. Do you feel that you need external help, or you need like a third party, or like if friends, you feel that you cannot trust friends because they're so close to you? Is it like important to get like a professional?
I think it's so important because, okay, to be very honest, as somebody who's been doing this for 5 years, the advice that I hear people say, like it can make things worse. So like really having a professional support of somebody who has really helped many people in your shoes and has helped and has done the work herself. Like I know exactly what this person needs to understand from an emotional perspective and from a mindset perspective in order to help them like move past, and also the right sort of tools that you can use when you are faced with problem A, B, C, D, E, F, G in the breakup. Like you name a problem, I definitely know that I have something like to help you with that, right? So with just this thing that we talked about when it comes to like memories and missing the person so much, like I said, one thing is to identify what emotion that you miss and then give it to yourself. But another thing that I like to do is I like to also pair like 50-50, right? Like you think of something amazing that happened, but I want you to also challenge yourself to remind your brain to also think about another incident that is.
Oh, okay. That is
Yeah.
the thing, yes.
Yeah, like these little brain hacks, right? Because if not, your mind as it is grieving the relationship is grieving perfection. But if in your mind this X, right, is like perfect and it doesn't take the time to look at those things that actually hurt you, that were true incompatibilities, you'll never be able to move on. You're forever in your la la land of like, oh, this person was amazing. No, honey, you cannot move on like this. It's really holistic. We're working on the mind, we're working on the emotions. Best breakup coach in Singapore.
Okay, the third question that I want to ask, actually, this was the question that intrigued me the most because I think I saw my parents grow up, they quarrel a lot. I didn't understand why they stayed a couple or stayed married. How can I distinguish between a rough patch and a fundamental incompatibility?
Okay, this is a great question. Any relationship or a lot of relationships will go through rough patches. Like a relationship never goes through a rough patch. You know, as a relationship coach, I'm like, right? So like a rough patch is like a really challenging period in the relationship when, it can be anything, right? It can be maybe one party is going through a very, very stressful period in his life and is not able to show up as his best self. Gets super rough when like two people are going through like existential, personal crisis. But there is still an underlying commitment to like the relationship. Right? Do you still value, you're still committed? You're just saying that in this period of time, we are not in our best selves and we're not communicating and we're not showing up. But fundamental incompatibility is when y'all are literally like the key things that are required for this relationship to be healthy and fulfilling for the both of you are non-existent. They're deal breaker clashes. So for example, fundamental incompatibility is like you want kids, but he doesn't want kids.
Wow.
You wanna get married, but this person doesn't really believe in marriage. You want to live in a big city, but this person wants to live in the farm. That is no longer about a rough patch, really. That is just complete like incompatibility. Your value systems, wants, and your vision of the future, like they clash. And so in this circumstance, it will be very, very, very hard for the relationship to work. Both of you will end up abandoning yourselves, losing yourselves for the relationship to work. And really, over time, people can try, but you eventually crack.
I think this sort of actually brings you back to the first question, right? Which is that does the couple have a shared interest and shared goal? I think the shared goal is the important thing, right? What is your shared goal and do they align, right? Because like you say, if they don't align, then be it long distance, be it like or you get into a rough patch, then this thing will sooner or later 会散的嘛.
100%. Yeah,
I'm using so much Chinese today. Yeah, sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm the worst person to use Chinese with. My Mandarin is not very good. Even though the last name is Liew. You're totally right. I really like that you link it to the first point, which is like, if these things are not solid, right? It doesn't matter whether you're long distance, whether you live in the same country. After a while, it will just crack.
Then why do you think like my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, how do they stay married for so long?
Because they might have an underlying value, the commitment aspect. So they value like commitment of being together as a core value. It's like no matter what, through thick, through thin, I value lifelong commitment. When I make a decision to marry a person, I make that commitment. I don't care whether
today no money, bankrupt or what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care whether suddenly become a vegetarian and I'm a meat eater, right? I will still be together with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yes,
understand.
It's healthy, but to a certain extent, I think it's also unhealthy when like people are willing to endure too much, really to the point that they're so miserable. But at the same time, I feel like we are becoming too much of a as a society, even in terms of how we consume, just buy and throw away, just buy and throw away. Always can get new one, man. Always get new one, and nobody really sticks through the challenging times.
I think there's this very fine difference that I think today you shed some light out to, which is do you all have a common shared goal that you all need to work towards and you all commit to? So if that is present, right, anything happen, you all just think about this one common goal or these few common goals, right? I think it's easy to tide through.
And I think this is not just relationships, right? But this is about life. We have a vision that we're working towards. No matter how many times we fail, we go the wrong way, we always come back to it. Right? It's like our North Star.
Oh, I think you can use this and tell your client, what is your North Star?
Have you
found your North Star?
Have you found it or not?
Okay, the next question posted by the next person A is that, what are the signs that I'm ready to start dating again versus I'm just seeking a distraction?
You know, the answer, my dear friend, is in the question. Because I say this because, right, if you are going to like dating in a relationship with the need to distract, then you're not ready to be in a relationship. Because a
Oh,
relationship, isn't meant to be a distraction. A relationship is meant to nourish and to enrich a life and a version of yourself that you already love.
so the fact that you're asking this question means that your mind is not in the right place lah.
I mean, the fact that they're asking it is an interesting question. Doesn't necessarily mean that this person is like asking because they're distracted.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I mean, it could very well be. But the answers in the question which we talked about, right? Like, if you are going to a relationship for distractions, then like basically what will happen is that going for distraction, then anybody that comes your way that is going to give you that attention, that validation, right? You will just go and chase, but this person might not be a good match for you as a life partner or even as an emotional support system. Then what will happen is you get unhealthy dynamics, blah, 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 blah. This person's going to leave, then you're going to get into another distraction, and then the cycle perpetuates all the time. So what you really need to learn how to do is learn how to be actually comfortable and happy and secure alone and not need validation from the outside world. When you do that, then you're in the best position to start to date again. This is the most important things which I always tell people, like, which is why my program, I don't want it just to be about, you just come up with this program and feel happier. Anybody can teach you that. I think it's really important that you take the time to understand how are you self-sabotaging your behaviors? What are your triggers? When you are single, you can really learn how to what can I do instead? How can I manage my emotions? How can I show up best in this next relationship? So that you can get into another relationship and it can actually work out. If you don't enter another relationship as a different version of yourself, it's like the same problem will just keep repeating. Yeah, not fun. It's not fun for anyone. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for the person that you're dating.
The fifth question, how do I heal and learn to be better with trust issues so I don't let it affect future partners?
Yes. So this actually ties in very beautifully with two questions that was mentioned earlier on around the long distance relationship. And then I think there was another question. Fundamentally, at the end of the day, right? Like, we struggle to trust that people will love us if we struggle to love ourselves. Because if we love ourselves, right, we'll be like, of course, this person's going to love me and want to be with me because I believe that I'm a human being worthy of being loved.
Yeah.
Yes. Like when people come to me and they say, I got trust issues with other people, I'm like, actually, you're not really having a trusting relationship with yourself. So that's part one. And then part two of self-trust is, do you trust yourself when you see the red flags to be able to walk away? Because if you can trust yourself to be able to walk away, right, you don't need to change the person in order for you to feel safe and secure. Like you can create a safe and secure relationship with your own actions. Right? So it's the self-trust, knowing that you're worthy of love, and the self-trust to be able to live.
So instead of saying that, auntie, 我的bak chor mee 不要bak chor 不要辣不要什么, you should just go and say 我要吃板面.
What? I don't understand this analogy.
Okay, sorry. Cut this out. It's a bad analogy anyway.
I think fundamentally, if you want to keep that answer very simple, right, it's just, you just focus on that first. Because when you really, really focus on that, right, like you'll feel more secure in your relationship. And if you realize that this person is really, really because sometimes in the reality, they might be cheating. We're not saying that, forever, we're not saying people might not do that. But when you have so much love for yourself, right, you know that it's okay. I can let go of this person because I love myself. I think I'm a great partner. Eventually, I'll be able to find someone. Yeah. So really, right, all boils down around inner security, self-love, and self-confidence.
There is no reason for people not to trust you if you trust yourself, ma. But whereas if you go around and I don't trust it, then how do you want people to trust you, right?
Yeah, if you are not even showing up in a trustworthy way.
This one I feel is an interesting question for me as well. I'm an extreme introvert and often struggle with communicating in general. How can I learn to better communicate my emotions to my partner as someone who is uncomfortable with sharing?
First off, it's so amazing that you're even asking this question. Like the fact that, you already want to work towards.
You want to change, lah. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to change is amazing. Oftentimes we feel uncomfortable because there is a part of us that we're afraid if I share my true emotions and my feelings, maybe this person might not accept me, or they might judge me, or they might fundamentally reject me and leave. To be able to communicate, you must first understand what are the emotions that it is that I'm feeling and why am I feeling that way. After you do that, you must also get up to the point where you can accept yourself for feeling that way and being that version of yourself. If you don't accept that, or you don't find some sort of like peace, then sharing your vulnerable true self is going to feel very, very scary, because what if, like we said, right, what if this person like shoot us down or text us,
Yeah.
right? Like it will feel very scary. But when you've accepted yourself, then it's like, okay, worst case scenario, this person judges me, right? You'll be like, you know what? I don't judge you. I'm okay with your emotions and who you are. And then the power then doesn't come in a person's reaction, in their response, whether they like you. They come from the solid relationship you have with yourself. And that will make being able to communicate things a lot easier.
My next question, personally for me, is that do you think changing a communication method works? Like, for example, if you feel difficult, like talking about it, why don't you text? Why don't you leave a letter? Why don't you draw or something?
I think that can help. But fundamentally, like, I want to be able to empower my clients to be able to do things even if it is outside of what not feels comfortable for them.
Understand.
Because I'm all about helping people
Be better versions of themselves.
be better versions of themselves. And part of becoming better versions of yourself is expanding like you think is possible for you and breaking out of that own limiting belief. Your brain is telling you, I cannot be the kind of person that communicates like verbally about my feelings. And I like to challenge that and be like, okay, we can start small first. If that is like you never share, or maybe that can be the first step. You can build your courage. But over time, I like challenging and pushing people gently. Of course, if they're like, I really do not want to ever be that person, I'm not going to force. But if that's what they want to see themselves doing, then I will really work through all the limiting beliefs that are stopping them from doing things. Because I really don't believe that anything is not possible. Like when I don't believe that I can't. I can do it. And I'm in the process of becoming the person who can do it.
And I think the way the question was asked is the person actually wants to do it. So actually, I think your answer makes sense in the sense that if he or she wants to do it, I think we have to, like you say, we have to sort of empower them and make them assured that this is the thing that we can try and we can work towards.
Anybody that tells me, Ambra, I want to become this version of myself, right? I always tell anybody, I'm like, that version of you is done. You can be that person. Let's work through all of the mindset blocks, emotional blocks that are stopping you. Honestly, in life, anything that we've not yet achieved is just because we have fears, we have mindset things that are getting in the way. But there's nothing anybody like we cannot achieve or we cannot become. So I love operating from it is possible. Then how do we get there? Anything in life.
I think we have time for 2 more questions. Can we do the 2 optional questions?
Sure.
The first one is dated 9 months and he treats me well, but realized that we are not compatible. So how should I break up with them gently?
I think it takes such self-awareness to be honest with yourself that actually this is not a good match for me. I think a lot of people try and push down the intuition and try and, I mean, I've been guilty of this before. Yeah, we are all humans here, okay? Like the beautiful thing, you have to ask yourself, like, actually, why is it that I want to be able to do this? And oftentimes, deep down, right, we realize that actually it's not only an act of love towards yourself, but it's an act of love towards the other person. You're trying to, And if you actually think about the positive impact that this can have, what you're doing is that you're letting go of this person so that they can have the space to meet somebody that will truly value them, appreciate them, and is more compatible to them. It comes less of, oh my God, it's a scary conversation. You actually, you frame it in that way, right? And so then, like, okay, then going down to the actual structuring of the convo, I would really just start like, hey, like really thanking them for the great memories, like everything that they've done, and then letting that person know that, I've thought about it, and there are certain things that I think that we're not compatible. Doesn't mean that you as a human being that you're bad, wrong, or not enough as a partner. It's nothing to do with that. It's just like a matter of incompatibility. And then you go back and then you still thank them once again and like appreciate. And you can also reiterate your positive intention of like, okay, like I'm also doing this so that like you can find your person because you deserve to find somebody that is a match for you. I think if you really communicate in this person this way, right, this person is going to still feel sad because we're humans, but they will really treasure and appreciate that you took the time to be such a great communicator. and to be considerate of their feelings. This world, everybody needs to be more genuine. Oh my gosh, I am so not a fan of the ghosting culture. Like,
Oh, man.
you know, when you think about breakups, sometimes it really can be like, when you think about the word, it's so like, oh my god, so sad,
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
grief, which is still fine. We have to allow ourselves to feel that. We don't have to jump straight into, which I call toxic, like straight away you go into a toxic, positive reframing. But over time, I also like to see it as like a completion of a chapter, which, like, you know, allows both parties to actually understand things about themselves.
Last question. After both parties have broken up, if we have shared friends, what boundaries should I set to protect my peace?
From a breakup, like, coach and somebody has done a lot of this work, right? I think for a few like months until you really like, I don't know the context of like whether he broke up with you or you broke out with him, but both of you need to get to that phase, to that point where, you know, you're no longer like attached, or you're very neutral about each other. Like, you can see each other almost as like friends or people that you used to care a lot about. Like, just become more neutral. Until you're at that point, I really suggest to try and not meet that group of friends at all, especially if the other person is there. Because if you're the one that got dumped, it's gonna constantly bring you back into that loop.
Yeah.
And if you are the person that dumped the other person, it's going to not be helpful for you, because I guess you want your own space. The other person that sees you is gonna feel very sad. If you do really, because these are like your friends, if you do really want to hang out with them, you have to make sure, tell your communicate with friends, say like, this is not healthy for us. Like, we need to
give us some space.
Yeah, like, less, like, when we meet separately. Friends might be like, hey, you know, that's quite tiring for us, you know, blah, blah. Then I think it is important for a period of time, let your friends know that it's not that I don't love y'all. You know, I also don't want to like overburden y'all to like manage the both of us, right? I think during this period, until we are both like very neutral, plain about the relationship, like, I'm going to just spend more time with other friends. Both people now have to focus on themselves and what will help them in their healing journey.
Understand. And then sometimes the friends also feel very awkward, like, we gather, should we call this person? Should we not call this person? Like, or I call him means cannot call her, like, this kind of, but to be very careful, like, probably need some communication also, like, you have to be brave enough to tell our friends that this happened, you know, then please give me some space.
Like, my ex, like, I was very close to the girlfriends. So then I stopped meeting the guys, but I'll meet like the girlfriends.
Oh,
but over
okay.
time, even though I love the girlfriends, like, over time, like, I also chose to distance myself, and not because there was anything wrong with them. They were amazing ladies, but I really needed, for my sake, to be able to close that chapter. I needed to just like move out of that circle, because if not, they will be talking about this person and that person, and it's like, it's not that it necessarily triggers me, but psychologically, like, your body needs to like chapter close and move on.
Yeah.
You are, you know, grieving the life that you thought you were going to have, the partner that you thought your partner was going to be. You are grieving the version of yourself that, you know, got to live life with this person.
Yeah.
You're also grieving like a change in your lifestyle that's completely different now. Like, your friendships might change. This is one of the hardest things in life, and I can literally equate it almost as challenging as the death of a close friend or a parent. I mean, it's never going to be exactly the same, but it's equally as challenging. To people who are not, you know, going through a breakup, be kind to your breakup friends, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we can conclude our session here. For me, my biggest 2 lessons is find your North Star and be assured with yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like things that like I think people like learn today, but I love those 2, which is, being very clear of what you want. That will really help you to decide, you know, should I stay or should I not stay?
Yeah.
Like, this is why understanding your core values, what you really want in life, is very important. And then the second thing is being so much more secure within yourself and loving yourself. That's going to help you be able to communicate. That's going to help you able to leave relationships when you know that it's time for it to end. They'll help you feel more safe and secure and happy in a relationship. Like, it really does start from the work within yourself. And eventually, I think I will do some sort of like relations. I've got so many certificates. I was just looking all my certificates that I put up. I framed them all up, and I was like, okay, maybe the next thing that I will do is maybe some sort of like relationship therapist, because I don't do couples coaching yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. But even then, right, people that have come to me, I said, right, that if you work on yourself, it can make a huge difference to the relationship. So yeah, that's what I do for my clients now. I work with like the woman with the male. They work on themselves. I tell you, it really makes a world of a difference. Like one of my clients, like she was almost about to break up, and then she was like, she worked on herself. She got her partner in for coaching with me. Now they're on their way to getting married. Okay?
Yes. Wow. I think we really learned a lot from you today. And of course, you're a very busy person. But just to close out our episode, can you let our audience know where they can find Ambra Liew?
Oh, yes. You can find Ambra Liew at Ambra Liew. At Ambra Liew on Instagram. Or you can go to my website, www.ambralew.com. Oh my God, I think it's www.com. Ambralew.com. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm very proud that I got the com.
Okay, thank you, Ambra. Always so much fun to have you back on the podcast. We would love to bring you back. I mean, if we can, maybe for a third session.
Yeah.